All right, deep breath in for me, relax.
What's going on, guys? It's Dr. James Cellini. I'm a board-certified veterinary neurologist, and on today's episode, I wanted to talk about a little bit of a sensitive subject on my part. This is one of the more common questions I get, and it pertains to chiropractic adjustments and chiropractic work in pets. And I'll just tell you right off the bat, the answer to chiropractic adjustments, should you do it for your pet? From my perspective, the answer to that question is no. I would absolutely never recommend chiropractic for your dog for any reason. I'm going to get into some examples why from the internet. If you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button really quick before we do that, that would be great, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you, and let's get started. Okay, so I thought a good way to present this information and my overall skepticism on chiropractic and veterinary medicine would be to provide some examples of quote-unquote miracle cases, and these are their words, not mine, that I've seen on various social media platforms, TikTok and YouTube, for instance. So I thought I would start with this example. I made a short video about this a few months ago, but I think it bears repeating because there's a lot of just like obviously wrong stuff going on here. All right, so we'll start the video here. What we're going to see is a paralyzed dachshund who was being evaluated by a chiropractor. I don't know where this person is, but this person is not a veterinarian, and there's no indication that this dog had any sort of diagnostic workup or anything like that going in. He was just seen for what you'll see is paralysis. So let's start the tape, and I'll pause it along the way with my commentary as far as like what I have an issue with.
Touch her, no problem. It's just whenever you're holding her or whenever she knows that I'm about to adjust her. She just wants to be loud and be loud.
Right.
So it's more scared than anything else. So, yeah, exactly. She wasn't too.
So you can see that she's paralyzed and she's a dachshund. The most common cause of paralysis in a dachshund would be by far a disc herniation. So even though there was no diagnostic workup presented here, I don't know if there was one done or not, but there certainly isn't one presented here. We don't know exactly what this dog has, but being a dachshund, it's so likely she has a disc herniation causing her paralysis that I'm going to move forward under the assumption that that's what this is and talk about why what happens next is not ideal and not indicated at all for disc herniations.
You were really happy with me the other day.
I don't like you. Told you to stay away, but you
Okay, so right off the bat, he's literally just causing pain in this dog. So he's trying to do a chiropractic adjustment in this dog's spine with the, I presume, the intended goal of trying to either decompress or stimulate nerves arising from the joints of the spine. That's more or less the goal of chiropractic. But the problem with that is all he's really doing is causing pain because this dog, again, likely, I don't know for a fact obviously, but likely has a disc herniation, and a disc herniation is very painful, as anybody who has one of those knows. So all he's doing here is essentially putting pressure on a painful area and an area of the spine that very likely could have physical compression from a disc herniation. All right, so I want to use these two MRIs of different dogs as an example of why we don't recommend chiropractic in dogs with a disc herniation in particular. So in this MRI right here, ignore this lesion. That's not relevant to my discussion right now. What I want to point out is the discs in this dog. So this is the spine, the lumbar spine, and a little bit of the thoracic spine in a dog. So you've got the tail that's going to be over here. Let me get my illustrator out. You've got the tail that's going to be over here, and you've got the head over here out of view, obviously. So the lumbar vertebrae are here, 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 and in between these vertebrae are where the discs live, okay? So see these little white blebs right here. On an MRI, things that have a lot of fluid in them are white. And so these discs are very well hydrated, okay? So this is overall pretty good. Yes, the dog does have a disc herniation or a bulge, it looks like right there. But what I wanted to illustrate was the fact that this dog has pretty healthy looking discs for the most part. Down here on the bottom, what you can see is instead of white in these spaces, you see how it's dark around here and here? So this dog has degenerative disc disease, and this is what a dog has that predisposes them to herniating a disc. So why is this important? Well, the last thing you want to do on a disc that is degenerative and is friable and weak and not normal is to put excessive biomechanical force on it. You don't want to press on those dogs or torque them in any way. And the reason you don't want to do that is because you stand the risk of actually herniating more disc material. So the point I want to illustrate here is that these discs are friable, they're dehydrated, they're what we call desiccated, and they're more prone to herniating in that case. And when a dog like a dachshund, or really any dog, comes to you with paralysis and a disc herniation is so likely, the last thing you want to do is go pressing on that dog's spine, because you may herniate more disc by putting more biomechanical stress on their spine. Again, you have the ability, if you put enough torque and the right amount of force on a dog's spine, you could stand the chance of herniating more of this material up into where the spinal cord is. And you obviously don't want to do that. So going back to our example in this dog, let's assume that this dog has a disc herniation, and let's assume that this dog has degenerative disc disease, because one leads to another. The discs degenerate first and then they herniate most of the time, but it's a safe assumption. So why on earth would you go putting extra force on a dog's spine that is afflicted in that way? Makes no sense. Not only that, but like I said before, you're actually causing pain. So let's keep going. So again, this instrument that he's using in the video, he kind of like writes this off as just like, oh, he just doesn't like it. But he's actually, well, I guess he is kind of right. He doesn't like it, but the dog doesn't like it because it's painful, okay? You see the dog reacting there. That is how a painful dog reacts. The dog is vocalizing and trying to get him to stop. All he's doing is causing pain, and there is no proven benefit to what he's doing. This activator instrument is supposedly something that activates nerves by putting a really small focal area of pressure on a part of the spine, but there is absolutely zero evidence that an activator does anything in dogs, and I did not find any evidence that an activator has been proven to work in people in any way, shape, or form. So in regards to the activator, it's actually pretty funny. He posted a video somehow like trying to prove that an activator works by just demonstrating that he can nail a tack into a wall with the activator, as if like the fact that it generates force somehow is evidence that it fixes this dog's disc herniation and spinal injury. Again, this is totally ridiculous and without any scientific basis whatsoever as far as dogs go. So I'll just show you kind of the video.
So a lot of people say that the activator doesn't do anything, so I pulled the tip off. I kind of want to show you, this thing can deliver up to 60 pounds of force. This is a...
So just to be clear, I am one of those people claiming that the activator does not do anything.
thumbtack, and well...
So again, please explain to me how an instrument that has the ability to hammer a thumbtack into a wall like that somehow leads to healing in a dog with a type 1 disc herniation causing spinal compression and paralysis. Like how? Like what could that possibly do? And so guys, just to flesh out the story a little bit further, he posted a video of this dog afterwards. The implication here being that the chiropractic work did something for this dog. We're making that claim, I think, with these videos. And just to show the video, just full disclosure, here's the video of the dog walking afterwards.
In here, I saw her like using it.
Yeah, she does. It's more like the carpet than grass.
So there you see it, the dog is walking. Now, what they don't mention is that dogs with a disc herniation and that causes paralysis will, with some frequency, spontaneously recover on their own. Okay? That happens all the time. I see so many of these patients that, by pure statistical odds, many of them are going to improve. We know that. and they improve without any chiropractic work. Okay, so the reason I wanted to make this video is because I see misinformation like this all the time. So I wanted to put it out there that there is no proven benefit of chiropractic at all. I would never recommend it for a dog because, as you saw in the video, it really can only do harm. There's no proven benefit for any known problem that we know about in pets. And I've seen too many videos like this online that frankly bother me because they not only are demonstrating literally causing pain in dogs during their exam, they're being very careful with their words. They are very much implying that their treatment modality is somehow helping these dogs. And the last thing I want to mention too is I have no idea how these people are allowed to legally do this and not be licensed veterinarians, because one of two things has to take place. One, if they're providing some sort of treatment to a pet, then they're providing veterinary care, so why do they not have to be veterinarians in the first place? Two, if they're not providing care to a pet and we're saying, well, they're just doing it and we're letting them do this without a license, then what are they doing, right? Like, how are we able to just treat animals kind of in this gray zone? So this is a huge issue, I think, and I think individual states need to really get on top of this with their regulations and their licensing. So hope you enjoyed that. If you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button and leave a comment below, let me know what you think about chiropractic and pets. I'm happy to discuss things in the comments. Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.